What's up guys, it's Powerbang and welcome to another Brawl Stars guide. Today's character we're going to take a look at is Brock. Brock is a common brawler and his purpose, he's a ranged sniper. Brock carries a shoulder mounted rocket launcher and fires one rocket at a time that does tremendous damage. His range is incredible, but that missile is a little bit easy to dodge. His primary attack is the shoulder rocket. Brock really lets fly with a single rockin' rocket that really goes the distance. That kind of alludes to Brock's superior range. His super ability is the rocket jive. Brock shoots a ballistic barrage of rockets that destroys walls and cover. Enemies that do survive get pushed aside. Brock's super is very devastating, one of the top supers in the game. If you do find yourself targeted by it, there's a great chance that you're dead, regardless of how full your hit points are. Let's break down Brock's strengths and weaknesses. First, let's look at his strengths. He's got a very high damage output. He can be lethal from long range. Sometimes you're eating missiles that are being fired from off the screen entirely. Brock is able to launch them from all the way across the map, and they don't quite go the full distance of the map, but they go quite a ways. Brock can also destroy walls and cover with his super ability. His super is nearly an instant kill on mid to low hit point targets, and he's a great pairing with tanky pursuit characters like Bull or El Primo because you can really accurately predict enemy movement. Brock's weaknesses are he lacks utility. He's got no crowd control abilities, no movement buffs of any kind, no gap closing or escape abilities. He's fragile, has low hit points, and can be one-shot by stronger brawlers. His primary fire is a straight shot, straight line, and a reasonably slow missile. It's pretty easy to dodge. Some tactics and tips when playing Brock are to establish position early, to destroy popular gathering points and choke points. Use your super to destroy walls in addition to the enemies. This eliminates their potential escape route and also gives you a line of sight. If they can't hide behind the walls, that means they can't hide from Brock. Try to predict where it makes sense for your enemies to be. Hint: bushes, and preemptively fire into those bushes before they're actually there. Many times people will walk straight into your rockets. Last tip is to stay back from the battle. A dead Brock is quite simply not useful. Stay back from the battle, stay at your maximum range, and continue to lob rockets into the fray. Key on where your melee characters are and pay attention on if those characters on the opposing team are melee or ranged. If they are melee, they will likely be in punching distance of your lead brawlers, and if they're ranged, they're going to be quite a bit further back, so follow your tankier brawlers into battle and try to support them with suppressing fire. The best game modes for Brock are Smash and Grab and Heist. Brock is one of the top brawlers for Heist because he can actually destroy obstacles with his super, including the wall that covers the safe. Once the wall has exposed the safe, he's able to take the safe out from maximum distance without ever getting close, and doing so in rapid fashion by extremely high damage output rockets. Smash and Grab, he's great because he can cover the gem mine in the center of the arena very effectively. He knows where to fire simply because gems on the ground are fair game, and you know that opponents will go for those. So timing your rockets to arrive at the gem when your enemy arrives is a great way to secure easy kills. The worst game modes for Brock are by far Showdown. Showdown is a free-for-all mode where the last surviving member win. Not only does Brock have low HP, so he's really fragile, if he does encounter somebody by surprise and he's not keeping them at maximum range, he quite simply isn't going to be very effective. In addition to that, in a 10-person arena, it's very likely that you will be flanked or take an attack from a direction that you did not predict. Brock is not good at adapting to those situations. His positioning is key, and while he is lethal if he lands shots, it's very difficult to land shots when you're on the run. Bounty is also a mode that Brock is not great for, but also not terrible at. He's better suited for Smash and Grab and Heist where there's particular objectives, but free-for-all and deathmatch modes are not necessarily his forte, so I would opt for another character when choosing the Bounty game mode. Brock's favorable matchups include Crow. Crow has to stay back from the battle as well, and quite frankly, Brock does more damage than Crow, and his range is longer. Colt has a slightly shorter range than Brock, so Brock is able to stand back, easily dodge Colt's fire, and also land huge shots on Colt to take him out. Another favorable matchup is Jessie. One of Jessie's huge attributes is that she is a very useful brawler. Jessie brings Scrappy with her to the fight, which is a turret that she crafts for her super ability. Brock is able to take out that turret in just a couple of shots at range, so it's really never a factor in the fight. This really eliminates Jessie's usefulness as a character, so Brock is a very hard counter to Jessie. Another favorable matchup for Brock is Bull. Bull is slow and has a very short range, so Brock is able to sit back and just destroy Bull from a distance before he ever gets close. Similarly, Shelly is in the same boat. Her range is far too short to get to Brock, and Brock can simply retreat at the same speed that Shelly advances. Difficult matchups for Brock include Ricochet, whose range is the same and does quite a bit of damage. He also fires more bullets than Brock does at the same time, so while Brock may miss entirely and do 0 damage, Ricochet might land 1 or 2 of those shots and chip away at Brock's health. Barley and Dynamite are also difficult matchups for Brock. While their range is shorter, they are able to dodge Brock's shots and drop area of effect attacks such as Dynamite and whiskey bottles onto the ground where Brock happens to be standing, forcing him to move. This will push him and flush him out of position and do enough damage to him to take him out. Nita is also a very tough counter to Brock. You can't afford to look the other way when the bear is incoming, so Brock has to use his limited ammo taking out the bear, which unfortunately leaves very little for him to combat Nita with. El Primo is a difficult counter simply because he has so much HP. With that much hit points, Brock can run out of ammo multiple times before Primo is actually dead, and Primo is able to close the gap and do a lot of damage, two-shotting Brock and taking him out. Hard counters for Brock include Mortis. Mortis can very quickly use his swipe ability to evade the rocket that's incoming, so it's very unlikely that you'll ever land a shot on a Mortis unless you get lucky and he walks into it for you. In addition to that, Brock's hit points are low and Mortis is able to very easily take him out once he gets into melee range, which is not hard for Mortis to do. My overall recommendation for Brock is he's great for those people that are happy to effect a fight from a distance. He's great for establishing early position and keeping enemies away from key objectives and choke points. Brock is a weak hero though, and he can be destroyed pretty easily, so if the fight comes to him, be prepared to use his super ability to take down any aggressor. Brock's super ability works nicely to open up line of sight to the enemies and reduce the places that they can hide from his rockets, so feel free to use that ability early and often. That's gonna do it for our coverage on Brock. If you guys liked it, definitely hit the like button. Stay tuned for more Brawl Stars guide. Make sure to check the description for a Brawl Stars wiki page where all brawlers are broken down, their strengths, weaknesses, ratings, tips and tricks, guides, etc. So make sure you guys check that out. And if you're new here, subscribe to the channel. Thanks so much for watching, guys. This is Powerbang, and I'm signing out till next time.